Steve is trying to build the most secret Minecraft base, a base that nobody will ever find, so he can hide from all of the mobs forever. But there's one problem. Every single time someone finds his base and destroys everything. The creeper is getting smarter, monsters are starting to track Steve down, and his secret bases keep getting destroyed one after another. Steve has already lost almost everything, but ahead of him is his biggest, strongest, and most dangerous secret base yet. Will Steve finally build a place that nobody can find? Watch until the end to see the mistakes Steve made, how he fixed them, and how every new secret base becomes even more secret than the last one. Let's go! First, Steve needs a map so he can search for places to build his secret bases. The first base Steve decides to build is inside a Coca-Cola can to hide from mobs. From the outside, just a normal can. Nobody would ever think someone could live inside it. I'm building this base with 2 floors. This is the smallest base Steve has ever lived in. On the bottom floor, there will be a crafting table and a stove. On the top floor, there will be a music player and a chair. Now let's hide the base inside the can, like this, and close it with a lid. The secret base is done.
Now nobody will ever find me.
Steve is inside the can, but he makes a mistake that gives him away. He forgets to fully close the hatch. While cooking food, smoke starts coming out of the can, and the creeper walking nearby notices it. The creeper attacks Steve's base. The base is gone. Now Steve needs to build another base in a safer and more secret place. He looks at the map and chooses this spot. Steve builds a base inside a pineapple, thinking that this time nobody will ever find him. This base also has 2 floors. He even added a fence on the top floor. On the bottom floor, I placed a bed, a sink, books, and Steve's armor. On the top floor, I placed a music player, a stove, a crafting table, and a chest with vegetables. Now, let's turn the pineapple into a secret base spot. I lowered the base inside the pineapple. It fits perfectly. Steve enters the base and closes every entrance so he won't repeat the same mistake again. But he makes another mistake. He forgets to clean up the leftover building materials. That was his biggest mistake. Because of those tracks, the creeper finds Steve again and blows up another secret base. But Steve does not give up. There are still many places on his map where he can build an even safer and better secret base that nobody will ever find. Steve opens the map again, and this time he chooses a watermelon. Let's prepare it for his secret base. Then I build the base itself. Inside, I place a bed, a toilet, a table with potions and food, Steve's armor, a chest with weapons, a TV, books, a stove, a poster, a fridge, a soccer ball, and a sink. Alright, the base is ready. Steve lies down to rest for a bit. Now he plays some soccer. Let's hide the base inside the watermelon. This time Steve is smarter. He learns from his mistakes, cleans up all tracks, and tightly closes every door. But the creeper is getting smarter too. His mission is to find Steve no matter what and destroy the base again. At night, the creeper keeps searching and suddenly notices a strange glow coming from the watermelon. This time, Steve's super protected redstone system starts giving off radio waves and light. The creeper immediately heads toward the secret base, but he knows the base is too big to destroy alone, so he brings more creepers with him. Together, they attack the watermelon and blow it up. The base is gone, but Steve survives. In despair, Steve looks at the map again, trying to find the perfect place to build another secret base. This time, he decides to build it inside a fridge. This time, Steve makes the base larger and stronger on the sides. Inside the base, there is a crafting table, a chest with potions, ice cream and fish, a bed with torches, armor, and a kitchen with a stove. Steve is already making lunch. Subscribe and watch until the end, which base finally survives. Now let's add a poster, a fridge, a dining table, different skins, and a parrot on a green grass area. Let's give him a fish too. This is Steve's new secret base. Now I place it inside a fridge and camouflage it with some sauce and 2 cans of Coca-Cola so nobody finds it. Excited, Steve turns on loud music, so loud that the fridge starts shaking. And then a red monstrosity notices it. He walks to the fridge, opens it, goes inside, and throws the entire base onto the floor. The base is completely destroyed again. Now Steve must build another base in a new place. This time he chooses a mailbox. Now nobody will ever find me. He starts building a new base. Inside there will be a crafting table, a bed, a stove, and a chest. Steve built it in an Egyptian style. He really likes it. Click the like button if you like it too. Now Steve can relax on the bed. After finishing the build, I go to the mailbox and hide Steve's base inside it. Let's carefully place it there. Steve thinks nobody will ever find him, but Steve forgot one important thing. After some time, a villager and a farmer come to send letters and a package to their friend. They open the mailbox and discover Steve's secret base inside. Then they secretly place a TNT there. Steve has no time to react. The base is destroyed again. Now Steve must search for another place on the map. This time he chooses a playground. For this, Steve prepares a bed, a crafting table, and a little living space. I buried the base right here. Now nobody will ever find it. Done. But suddenly, an ender dragon appears in the sky. It flies directly over the hidden base. With its sharp eyes, it notices the top of Steve's base between the wood chips and realizes Steve is hidden there. The dragon instantly attacks with fire and destroys the base. Steve barely survives again. Exhausted, Steve searches the map for another place. This time, he decides to build the base on a tree. Inside the base, he places a table, a bed, a chest with weapons, a crafting table, books, a fridge, a poster, a training dummy, another bed, a toilet, lights, and a tree in the center. Steve keeps training to fight mobs and enemies. Now it's time for a snack. I also add a green crystal. Next to the base, Steve builds a small bar area where he eats lunch, drinks slushies, and talks with waitress. This base is safely placed on a tree. Steve enjoys his peaceful life until he hears a familiar sound again.
They found me again?
This time the creeper somehow found Steve's map and tracked the marked location of the base. The creeper attacks again. The base crashes down from the tree. Another peaceful place is destroyed. Using his last strength, Steve searches for one final place. This time, he decides to hide the base underground, far away from the village. Now let's build the final base. Inside it, there will be a computer desk, a lamp, a chair, a wolf bed with its own cage, a garden, a fridge, a creeper trading dummy, skins, a toilet, books, and even a soccer field. I also add a crafting table, a stove, 2 beds, a safe with green stone, a chest with potions, armor, a tree, and even a parrot. This base is everything. Steve can live here for months or even years. He can play soccer, feed his pet, play video games, rest before training, and prepare for battle against mobs. Now let's add the roof. Finally, I can rest safely. So I search for the perfect place to hide the base. This spot looks perfect. Let's start digging. I place the base underground and cover it with grass. Done. This time nobody will ever find Steve. Now he can finally live happily ever after. But that will happen in the next episode. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what happens next.